The Miami Dolphins kicked off their preseason in style, earning a 24-17 victory over the Detroit Lions. It wasn't easy. The Lions nearly tied the game late, but Miami held strong and came away with their first win of the preseason. That's exactly the kind of start Dolphins fans wanted to see. Even better news? Injuries were limited, with only one notable concern. Cornerback Ethan Bonner, who was fighting for a roster spot after contributing last season, left the game in the first half with what appeared to be a lower body injury. Reports suggest it may be a hamstring issue, but updates are still to come. If Bonner misses time, it could open the door for someone like Cam Smith to slide into that depth role in the secondary. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. On the bright side, the Dolphins' defense showed real toughness, and several players stood out with impressive performances. One name Dolphins fans should watch closely is wide receiver Theo Jr., who brought energy and playmaking ability throughout the game. We'll get into his highlights soon, but first, let's break down the quarterback situation, because, as always, that's a big storyline in Miami. Zach Wilson handled the first half, while Quinn Ewers took over in the second. Wilson had moments of promise, but also a few plays that raised questions, continuing the theme of highs and lows we've seen from him. Let's start with the positives from Miami's quarterback play. Zach Wilson looked far more in rhythm compared to last week. He got the ball out on time, avoided holding it too long, and benefited from stronger pass protection up front. That allowed him to show better accuracy, highlighted by an impressive drive where he hit Escridge on a 53-yard connection that turned into a touchdown. Wilson also built some chemistry with Tanner Conner, delivering a few sharp throws along the way. But while there were flashes of promise, the problems can't be ignored. The biggest issue was his inability to escape pressure. This is surprising because, back in college, and even early in his career, Wilson showed mobility and playmaking ability outside the pocket. Yet in these first two preseason games with Miami, he's looked static, and it cost him. He took a sack, and even when penalties erased others, the concern was still there. Then came the mistake that had Dolphins fans shaking their heads. Off play action, Wilson had Escridge wide open for what could have been a 55 to 60-yard touchdown. Instead of leading him toward the end zone, Wilson underthrew it badly, nearly 20 yards short. What should have been an easy touchdown turned into a broken play where Escridge had to slow down and fight off the defender just to prevent an interception. That miss opened the door for a quarterback conversation in Miami, especially with how well Quinn Ewers responded. Just last week, Ewers struggled heavily, putting together one of the roughest outings you could see. But this time, completely different story. He went 11 for 17, threw for 116 yards, and most importantly, connected twice with Theo Jr. for touchdowns. It was a sharp, confident performance that may very well spark a battle for the QB2 spot moving forward. Quinn Ewers delivered a completely different version of himself compared to last week. 7 days ago, he looked hesitant, lacking confidence, and unable to establish any rhythm. This time, though, he played with poise, decisiveness, and command of the offense. One of the most encouraging signs was his accuracy over the middle. Time after time, Ewers hit receivers in stride, showing anticipation and trust in his throws. Even on plays where defenders managed to get a hand on the ball, his placement was exactly where it needed to be. The only real blemish came on an out route toward Andrew Armstrong, a risky throw near the sideline that could have been intercepted if the corner had made a highlight reel play. Aside from that, Ewers protected the football and gave his receivers opportunities to shine. His comfort on the move also stood out. He extended plays, delivered strikes while rolling out, and kept Miami's offense moving. Credit goes to Mike McDaniel as well, who dialed up some clever play action designs that kept Ewers in rhythm and allowed him to find targets like Theo Jr. and the tight ends across the middle. Overall, it was the kind of rebound performance that could reshape the Dolphins' quarterback depth chart. With Zach Wilson struggling to find consistency, Quinn Ewers may have put himself right in the mix for the QB2 job. If Quinn Ewers keeps stacking strong practices in training camp and follows it up with another sharp preseason game against Jacksonville, the quarterback battle could get even more interesting. But what stood out most in this game was the connection he built with wide receiver Theo Whis Jr. Whis Jr., an undrafted rookie out of Missouri, has been turning heads all camp. That chemistry with Roos isn't new. The two go way back to high school, and it showed again with a pair of touchdowns. On the first score, Whis Jr. found space over the middle and made it look easy. The second touchdown was even more impressive. Roos rolled to his left, locked eyes with Whis Jr., and the receiver stopped on a dime while the defender kept running. The timing was perfect, and it resulted in a clutch score that gave Miami control of the game. Right now, Whis Jr. looks like he's firmly in the mix for a roster spot. He's probably battling for that WR6 or WR7 position alongside Taj Washington. But performances like this are hard to ignore. His route running, awareness, and chemistry with the quarterback are exactly what coaches want from depth receivers. And it wasn't just Whis Jr. making plays. Escridge had himself a strong outing too, finishing with 3 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown. One of those grabs nearly went the distance, a 27-yard screen that he almost broke for a 50-yard score before getting tripped up inside the red zone. All in all, Miami's young receivers are showing real promise, and that's exactly what this preseason is about, finding out who can step up and contribute when it matters. Escridge wasn't just making plays on offense. He also showed his value on special teams, contributing solidly in both punt and kick return duties. There's no doubt he's locked in as a 53-man roster player. Right now, Escridge is sitting as Miami's WR5, a reliable backup to Malik Washington, and someone who can add versatility in the slot when needed. In the backfield, Ollie Gordon continued to shine. He carried the ball 10 times for 50 yards, including a powerful 19-yard burst right up the middle. Once he hit the second level, Gordon absolutely lowered the boom on a safety, and it electrified the sideline. His combination of speed and toughness is hard to miss, and it's getting clearer by the week that he's making a strong case to be Miami's RB2 behind the starter. Taj Washington also impressed once again, hauling in 4 catches for 33 yards. His burst after the catch stands out. Whenever he gets the ball in space, defenders immediately feel the pressure. The real challenge for Miami's coaches will be deciding between Washington and Theo Whis Jr. for the final wide receiver spot. Carrying 7 receivers feels unlikely, which means one of them could be the odd man out. And if that happens, it's hard to imagine the released player staying available for long. Another team would almost certainly scoop him up. These are the kinds of difficult choices that highlight how deep this Dolphins roster is becoming. Between emerging receivers and young talent in the backfield, Miami's offense is developing layers of playmakers who can step up when needed. Before wrapping up, it's important to spotlight a few defensive standouts. Grayson Murphy continues to make noise with another sack, his second straight week bringing down the quarterback. The second-year edge rusher out of UCLA is proving he deserves a serious spot in Miami's rotation. With Mohamed Kamara sidelined the past 2 games, Murphy has stepped up and shown he belongs as one of the Dolphins' top 5 edge defenders. Another bright spot was rookie Jordan Phillips, the 5th-round pick from Maryland. He was disruptive all afternoon, finishing with 1.5 sacks, multiple tackles, and a key stop in the run game. His energy and ability to win off the line made a real difference. And while he may not see heavy snaps early in the season behind veterans like Christian Wilkins, Benito Jones, and Zach Sealer, his long-term potential is clear. This looks like a strong value pick for Miami, and he's only scratching the surface. Overall, Miami's defense matched the energy of the offense, with young talent flashing all over the field. It's the kind of balanced performance that coaches want to see in the preseason, and it leaves plenty of optimism as the team builds toward the regular season.